The third season of the SRX is officially kicked off, and we see a lot of chaos and also rain-shortened victory and weather-shortened victory with Denny Hamlin picking up the victory. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the opening race from the SRX at Stafford for Season 3. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, we'll skip around and talk about the overall event as a whole. Let's talk about the main event overall. Denny Hamlin is the driver, goes on to win. Unfortunately, this race was called early due to rain. It had about 920 laps to go, and they made a decision very, very quickly, which was very, very surprising, instead of pulling the cars down pit road. But due to the weather that came in the area, because there's been weather up in the New England area all week, they made a decision to go ahead and call the race early, and didn't even bring down pit road. Denny Hamlin goes on to pick up the victory. This is, of course, Denny Hamlin's only race, I believe, of the 2023 SRX season. So huge congratulations to him. I think Denny had one of the best cars, if not the best car. He won the first heat earlier in the evening, and had a really strong car in the second heat as well. Was making really, really impressive and really, really crazy moves to get to the front. Nonetheless, great job by Denny Hamlin. Huge congratulations to him. Like I said, I think he had the fastest car for the most part, especially in the evening. There was a lot of chaos happening in the main event. On lap 8, you had a big accident that took place. I think it was Kevin Harvick, someone who got turned, and there was a huge pileup. Kevin Harvick got a ton of damage. Tony Stewart got some damage. Hailie Deegan got some damage in the wreck. Keselowski got some damage in the wreck as well, and they all had issues in the race as well. Then they basically threw a caution for a fun flag, and they went back racing again, and it came down to battle between Denny Hamlin and Ryan Newman near the end of the race. But unfortunately, the weather being called, Newman did not get a chance and an opportunity to beat him near the end of the race. Meaning, like I said, Denny Hamlin would pick up the victory. So now, let's go through the results. So Denny Hamlin picks up the victory. Ryan Newman finished second. Newman, of course, in a backup car. They actually had won the second heat of the race where the race began, but basically they had to go to the backup, and I think they had to start, maybe at the rear of the field because of that, unfortunately. But they drove up to the front with a backup car and finished in second. Great run for Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman, I believe, will be the points leader after this race, unless Denny Hamlin is the points leader. But Newman, of course, going for the full season championship this year and is trying to get redemption after nearly winning it last year. Great night for Ryan Newman in second place. Clint Bowyer finished third. I thought Clint Bowyer in the beginning of the race had something for Denny Hamlin. He was really the only one in the first portion of the race that really could keep up with Denny Hamlin, but nonetheless, a great night for Clint Bowyer. He's going to run a couple more races in the SRX season, so great run for Clint Bowyer in third place, and still a great personality. Paul Tracy finished fourth. Paul Tracy could not go one race without there being some sort of controversy, because he got into Ken Schrader and dumped him in the first heat of the event. I think it was the first caution that got brought out, because Paul Tracy doing Paul Tracy things, but he still finishes in fourth. Saw a run, though, for him in fourth. Hailie Deegan finished fifth. I feel like Hailie Deegan near the end, she had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. She was running Paul Tracy down and Clint Bowyer down near the end of the race. I know she struggled in the beginning, did have some issues, but I feel like the more experience she got, the better she was doing. I thought that she was going to have a chance maybe a championship threat and a championship contender in the SRX this season, and she does finish in the top 5, so great start of the season for her in the SRX. Obviously, she really needed a confidence booster. She has struggled in the Truck Series in 2023, so good to see her have a solid run overall in the race. She struggled in the heat races. She got pushed around. She's got to push around a little bit more, but she does get a top 5. Mark Andretti finished 6th. He had an incredible start to the race. Basically, I don't know if it was illegal or not what he did, but he jumped the restart, jumped from 5th to 1st, which is incredible, but I think that was illegal as well. But he goes on to finish 6th. Solid night for Mark Andretti in 6th place. Well, his car kind of fell off and started falling through the field and was holding everybody up, and no one really had a chance to catch Denny Hamlin. Ken Schrader finished 7th. Like I said, he got dumped by Paul Tracy, but Ken Schrader's car looked really good despite the damage he had on it, but nonetheless, a great comeback for Ken Schrader in 7th place. Bobby Labonte finished 8th. Labonte, I think, also got some damage in a big wreck. Labonte I think the car was too damaged to the point where it's kind of falling off the pace and never had a chance to get up front. Brian Keselowski finished 9th. He was my pick coming in this weekend at Stafford. Keselowski actually was a front runner to win the heat, but he will have a chance to win some races later this year. I thought he would get up to the front. I think he got some damage in the big wreck as well that cost him a shot and opportunity to go up front. Tony Kanaan finished 10th. Tony Kanaan won the restarts. I think he got into maybe a Paul Tracy, but I think Paul Tracy chucked him down into the grass. Another driver that Paul Tracy played a role in. I think Paul Tracy kind of raced like a jackass a little bit there, but Tony Kanaan got put in the grass and never recovered from that. Tony Stewart finished 11th. He ran out of fuel pressure, got involved in the big wreck as well. Ran out of fuel pressure and cost himself a shot at a good run. I think Tony had a fast car as well, but never had a chance to get up front. And then Kevin Hart finished last in 12th. I think he fell out of the race after the big crash as well. So let's talk about the overall event itself, the first race, and let's talk about my score of the event in the first one. I will say ESPN's coverage, there are some things they do have to work on, in my personal opinion. I feel like there were some pretty big issues with ESPN's coverage. Number one, the ticker was a little bit glitchy, but it is a first race jitters. Obviously, the last 2 years have been on CBS. This was, of course, a first race on ESPN. I think the more experience they have on ESPN, the better they're going to get. And I love the fact they brought Thursday Night Thunder back. I thought that was really, really cool and really, really exciting with this event. I think Alan Bessick always does a really, really good job with this commentary, and I really wish he was doing NASCAR commentary for NBC or Fox, because I think he would do a great job and brings energy to those broadcasts. So I will say NBC really doesn't need much energy, because their energy is great. And Joey Logano. Joey Logano has a career after racing. He's a fantastic commentator, did an amazing job in the booth. He's going to do 2 more races later this year. Obviously, Darrell Waltrip's going to be in the booth next week, but I think he did an excellent and a really good job. And Nicole Briscoe. Glad to see her back, basically doing some work with ESPN once again. She did an amazing job opening. She did a great job doing NASCAR back in the day from 2011 to 2014. I think she did a really, really great job. And then you have Matt Yoakum. Matt Yoakum, he's amazing at his time as a pit reporter. He, of course, does work at NBC currently at the moment right now with the IMSA coverage. But if he did some NASCAR coverage at NBC once again like he used to back in the day, I wish he would do it, because he would do an amazing and a really, really good job. So now, let's talk about the racing overall. The racing overall, I thought was really, really fun. For me, it's not always about the great racing on the track. It's about how much fun I was having. And I don't take this series completely seriously. It's a series to have fun. It's a series for fans to enjoy. So the event itself, opening race 1, unfortunately, it will be down a little bit due to the race being called. It seems like every single time you have a race, a stock car event especially, there's rain or weather in the forecast, and we can't catch a break. And especially with the weather in the forecast for the Cup Series weekend, it could be a major issue, and it could be a major problem. So I'm going to give this event overall an 8.5 out of 10. I do think the weather, like I said, will affect my score a little bit, and it prematurely ended, but really nothing they can do in the situation. Got to get people out of there with how bad the weather's been up in the New England area. It's the right call to make. It sucks he had to call like that, but there's so much lighting on the screen, especially during the green flag conditions. They wanted to be safe, and better be safe than sorry in the situation. So, that is going to be for the race review for the opening race at Stafford. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Notifications on as if I win a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links go over that, and comment your thoughts on tonight's race at Stafford. Your thoughts on tonight's race at Stafford? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Denny Hamlin on picking up the victory. Tomorrow on the channel, we should have a NASCAR news video on the channel discussing all the news over the last couple of days, and then we'll also maybe have another video later today. Saturday, we have the NASCAR Xfinity Series race review from New Hampshire, pending the weather. Then Sunday, there is going to be a scheduled video dropping on the channel for 2024 predictions for that. And then, of course, later in the evening, if the weather race does happen, I might have a review, but I'm likely going to be in a Cardinal game, so I might miss that. You'll have to pay attention to that. And then next week, we've got a lot of content dropping on the channel that you're going to want to enjoy. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching tonight's race review, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and motorsports content like the Asterisks on the channel like this. This is going to be a weekly series. Every time we have a race, I'll have a review. Make sure to tune in these every week. We're also getting close to 2,000 subscribers on the channel, so if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys there for more awesome content. Take care, everybody.